Hello, welcome to another week with me, Kate May, Modern Day Mystic, for your podcast YouTube show on all things mystical. This week we have some magical energy coming in the form of Sirius, the magical star that shines on our soul. Sirius shines 23 times brighter than what the sun energy does, and this week, first week of July, it comes into conjunction with the sun. Now, what that means is it's like a big burst of extra energy, manifestations, highlighting us, what our soul needs. If you literally think of the sun warming our body, you can see I've been out in it a bit, then Sirius is like what warms our heart, what warms our soul. So with that 23 times energy bubble over it, the magnification is huge. So this is a really good week on many levels to reset your intentions, to have a little bit of epiphanies, spiritual moments, meditations. You're going to get loads of extra downloads this week if you do that, but also to have a real feel about what your soul actually wants. And I've spoke about how to do that in other podcasts. I think episode 1 or 2, I think it's in there, what your soul wants. So this week, no matter where you are in the world, we've got the halfway point, 30th of June, moving now into the next phase of the year. So if you are like me, enjoying the sun here in sunny England, Portsmouth, we're going to be enjoying more sun, and then we're going to move into our autumn. But right over the other side of the world, I know you're having quite a cold winter. It seems so weird when it's winter here. I can't even think about or imagine the summer, and then when I'm in the sun, I'm I can't even imagine what it'd be like to be cold. It's weird. So we're at that 6th month point, and what that is good for is resetting your goals, looking at your manifestations or your inspirations from the beginning of the year, 6 months ago, to where they are now. It doesn't matter whether they got fulfilled. It doesn't matter if you've changed. It's in the past. Let it go. What's important is where you feel right now, the growth that you might have had over these last 6 months, the experiences that you've had over the last 6 months, and the different feelings that you've now got. Many of us will feel different. I don't know anyone that actually feels the same from now to where they were 6 months ago, and we probably won't in 6 months' time, but it's a really good time to check in, because we've just had that summer solstice, but it's that midway point of the year. What's a really good thing to do, especially with that Sun and Sirius connection in Feng Shui this week, is to print off a new picture of the rising phoenix, laminate it, write on the back what it is that you want to bring in for this next 6 months. Now, if you've already followed me and done that for February, we want to get rid of it. We want to bring in the new energy, and we want this to go in the south. The south area is represented by fire. Obviously, the Sun and the Sirius is fire energy. Fire burns through obstacles, fire burns through challenges, and that's what this rising phoenix is all about. But it's for everyone, but it's particularly strong for women over these next 20 years. But for a lot of people, we're just coming out of difficult situations, and this rising phoenix is going to help you shine and rise above your challenges, and that fire element in the south area is going to push through that and help you. And the south area in Feng Shui is all about fame, recognition, not necessarily, well, it can be literally famous, but it's recognition and fame for your own personal development. Recognizing, again, goes right back to what your soul wants, and that's what Sirius is. And I don't mean fame as in we want all the glory, that's what our ego wants, but what our soul craves for in that recognition side of things. But do you know what? If we're craving a little bit of fame anyway, go for it, because we're in good alignment. So check in with your manifestations this week. Check in, especially if you're Cancerian, because it is going to be connected. This Sirius is in line with Cancerian, so it's a little bit heightened for you. What you'll be pleased to know, though, is that this week we do start to see that spark of fire is going to burn off some of that emotional energy that Cancer has brought us over the last 2 weeks. So we're going to start to feel a little bit more balanced, a little bit more settled, just until that came up as a 444. So great time to reset a vision board. now and have a look at, like we said, where you were, what you want to do. Many things may have changed, and you might find that you've just gone on a different pathway now. So great time to, on your manifestations, on your altars, to redo them, reset them. If you've got little wealth bowls like I do, little money bowls, again, if you've been following me, you'll know about those. Now's the week to redo it and charge it up with that sun. Excellent time to put your crystals out and charge them in that Sirius energy this week, first week of July. So we're going to see lots of magical things happening in July, but this week sets it off with Sirius. So be prepared. In a minute, we're all going to be talking about Lion's Gate. Watch that one. I might talk about that next week. So that's your astrology and your little Feng Shui lineup. Look at your south area, make sure it's decluttered, make sure that there's nothing broken, make sure that it's clear, that the energy can flow around that south area for that recognition of not just what other people, how other people recognise you for all your amazing fabulousness, but you as well. It's going to be important that you recognise yourself for how amazing and fabulous you are, and look how far you've come over these last 6 months to where you are now. So check out your south area. South area, like I said, it does like fire energy. Not too much fire because you can burn, burn, burn. And tarot cards that you could use, certainly the Ace of Wands. Don't know if I can find them quick enough. Certainly the Ace of Wands would be great with that. Sirius energy. Obviously, I'm going to use that as well. Obviously, the sun. I do like the Magician for all types of manifestation work. Oh, the Star would be good. Star would be really good in the south area because it realigns energy and, oh, here we are. Realigns energy and brings balance back in. But the Magical Sun, this is the card that we really want this week in the south area, perhaps with the world, where we have loose ends being tied up and literally moving into a new chapter, moving into a new cycle. Page of Wands or Ace of Wands is going to be great as well, because this is like a spark of inspiration, spark of energy, spark of power. So the main cards this week, I'm going to say, are the World, the Sun, Ace of Wands, and possibly the Star, because we've got that Sirius energy. So yeah, we're loving these this week, So either on your altars or in part of your south area to bring that energy in. I went to a retreat at the weekend. I did a Feng Shui workshop, and before mine there was a beautiful lady, Laura, and she did a Qigong session, and it was really interesting because I didn't know what they were all talking about. I've just prepped what I was going to talk about, and some of it was to do with this rising Phoenix energy and the fire element that's so powerful at the moment. And they were talking about the fire element. Just happened to talk about summer, a fire element, and the Qigong talking about the yin and the yang, which is so connected to Feng Shui. So it was really interesting, like how it all just worked together. And we also made candles, mine's in my room, to represent the fire energy. How friggin' amazing is that? So lighting a candle safely or decorating a candle will be fabulous along with your rising Phoenix this week. I know I went off track. So yes, I did this workshop. Where was I going with it? Where was I going with the workshop? Maybe it was the Qigong thing and the fire. I don't know. I've lost track now. But, oh no, that was it. It was the affirmation that I got from that. So really, really lovely affirmation from it. There was a position of doing things, but I'm just going to do what I remember. And it was, remember these three things. I think, I am what I think, I am what I think, I am what I speak, and I am what I feel. So it's a reminder to think positive, to think of love, to speak kindly, to speak positively, and to feel in love as well. Not to feel hatred or a negative emotion. Try and let that go or work on that in some way. To speak kind words. Don't scream and shout and say horrible things, because you are what you speak and you are what you think. So it's really important, especially with this week's energy, but all the time, to really think positive thoughts. So what else did I want to share? Oh yes, some words of wisdom So that's the astrology side done. I was thinking this morning, like, I don't know what to talk about. I don't know what to talk about today. So I thought, you know what, let's hit the sun. Let's get out there. I went to a beautiful lake with Mr. Flower. Not telling anyone where it is. It's a secret. It's a secret lake and it's so quiet. I don't want everyone coming. Anyway, and I was thinking, what can I talk about? And all these different things were coming in. And I thought, maybe that. And then when I came home, went in the fridge to get something out for lunch, and I accidentally spilled as I opened the fridge, a bean tin thing got jarred on it, and the beans spilled over, went all at the fridge. For fuck's sake. But my instant thought was, oh, actually, it's not many, could have been a lot worse. So I just put the beans back. Should have covered them up in the first place, shouldn't I? How unhygienic. Yeah. Cleaned it all up. And you know what it's like when you start cleaning one shelf, you go into another shelf and then another shelf. So I started cleaning the whole fridge. Before you know it, I'm like getting rid of stuff and decluttering the fridge. But in that, I came across a mouldy old piece of cheese. Now, I clean my fridge regular. So it must have skipped last week's clean, because it was definitely not, well, I didn't see it there last week, but it was definitely older looking than a week. So, and I don't have a sense of smell, so there's no point saying to me, did it not smell? I don't know. So anyway, I got rid of this bit of cheese and gave the whole fridge a really, really deep clean. And I started to think, when I was back out sunning myself, I started to think, isn't that interesting that a spillage, something that I was like, oh, for goodness sake, how annoying. So something annoying then turned into me finding something that needed to be gotten rid of. That something annoying turned into a very positive thing, because in fact it's going to be super bad Feng Shui to have rotten cheese in your fridge, let me tell you. So it got me into the thinking line of, and you're going to go with me now, of sometimes I do think the universe, we're thick sometimes, and I think sometimes the universe, we're not always thick, but sometimes we're just blinded, aren't we? Particularly by love, or by stability, or by fear as well. So not stupid. But I do think the universe kind of make things a little bit challenging at times. What's going on there? There's some banging around. Maybe it's God telling me I'm right. I actually don't know what is that noise. Anyway, distracted. So I do think the universe sends us these little signs to make us think, if we didn't do that, then this wouldn't have happened. If I didn't knock the beans out, I wouldn't have cleaned my fridge. So sometimes when we're going for a real rocky patch, what comes out of that is a better place, moving into calmer waters, an understanding, a better learning, a better growth. So I know a lot of people through my readings this last couple of weeks have really been going through it. There's been some tough energy around, very emotional energy, lots of heightened. And it's quite challenging for me to see so many people struggle. And I really want to come into their houses and do a Feng Shui analysis, because I know I could make everything right, pretty much right, or at least make it more handleable there. Feng Shui can't necessarily, it doesn't stop that bad things happening, but it certainly helps you control it or manage it a bit better. But it did get me thinking in just the lines of, like, sometimes these bumpy roads lead to a better pathway, lead to an opening that we might never found. Take lockdown for another example. For me, on a personal level, obviously I'm not talking about all the deaths and the tragedy that went with it, clearly. I'm talking about the positive side of it. For me, I went on big walks with my children, went to places that I hadn't even seen before, locally, hadn't even seen before. Had conversations with my children, because we were off school, that I would not have had if they'd have been in school. So there was many positive things through a bumpy ride that particular year. And, the Twin Towers, that massive tragedy, from that, I know that there was communities that came together, people that rebuilt things, people that met each other, that became best friends or partners or this or that. So through tragedies and beans spilling isn't quite a tragedy, is it? It's a bit traumatic for that. But you get my gist, that sometimes I do think the universe, but there's a bigger plan, isn't there? There's always a bigger plan. And I just wanted you to kind of know that if you're going through a real rough patch, there will be light at the end of the tunnel. There is a bigger plan, and you might just have to lean into it and trust the process there. Try and look at the positives, try and stay optimistic, see where the light that you can get, see what light you can get from these perhaps challenging times, but know that it's going to lead into something that perhaps it wouldn't have led into before. That if you didn't go down that road, you wouldn't have met that person or experienced that situation or saw that epiphany or whatever it is. So I do believe that they weave a little sparkle of magic, and it might not be what we first see as a positive, but just be open to doors opening for the better later on. I've seen so many people, and I'm sure every one of you that's watching this has got an experience, has got a story where it started off on such a dire, shitty step, and then it turned into something profound along the way there. And if you're going through something dodgy at the moment, just know that it will lead to better things there. So that is my words of wisdom for you. I'm going to pull a quick card before we finish all of this session today. I feel like there's something else that I normally talk about and that I haven't touched base on, but I don't know what it is. There's that noise again. It's the kids doing something. Oh, that was it. Catch up with Kate. What have I been up to? That was it. I've actually been manic. I've been really manic talking about the kids. So it was my youngest 16th birthday yesterday. Sweet 16. He's finished school now, thank goodness. I don't know who's more pleased, me, him, or the teachers, not to have him there. He's got his prom next week. So he's got all his little suit and gear. But yes, he had a lovely birthday. It was such a busy weekend. We had that. We also had our friend Jackie and Joe's 40th wedding anniversary. Is it 40 or 30? 40th anniversary. I had Hayley's last week, Hayley Dames, that was 30, so I got confused. Someone asked me and Cole if they thought we'd make 40 years. We've only just done 3 years. If we made 40, we'd be well into our hundreds, wouldn't we? There. But it was beautiful. It was so hot, but it was lovely outside, barbecue, and quite a lot of our friends were there. Some that I hadn't seen for ages, so really nice. Saturday, like I said, I did the workshop, made my own little candle with everybody, did some flower readings. It's lovely and beautiful grounds in Petersfield. But last week was manic. I don't know if I'm coming or going. It's I'm having a new Upglow website. Really excited, really excited. It's been on the cards forever. So it's actually happening now. I've had to find the right one and find the right design, find the right colours and all the rest of it. It took this long. Taurus, super slow. So it's all happening this week. So I've been going on Pinterest, I've been looking at different branding, looking at different colours. I've been also I had lots of clients in last week, and I've been trying to get my book. I had to do a proposal for my book and redo things for some courses, my tarot course that I've got, my current e-course at the moment. I'm redoing all of that in the new branding, and I'm doing some free resources there. So it's just been, if I've not been reading for people, I've been trying to sort my own life out, and if I've not been doing that, I've been sorting the kids out. It feels very busy, but in a very good way. Literally, like the beginning of the year, it was hard to get any motivation going, just real flat energy. From mid-May, June, I feel like I'm a rocket, feel like I'm a machine. So it's all good. And this week I've got a pub evening. I feel like I did something one evening last week as well, but I'm not sure. I've got a pub evening this week on the tarot, which is sold out. So I'm doing a tarot workshop, talk, readings in a new little pub locally for some people. And then the following week I'm doing a talk that's on Feng Shui. I don't know if I'm doing tarot or Feng Shui at the moment. That's on Feng Shui, and that's at Portsmouth Positive Living. So it's all good. So let's have a look. This is just a general little message. Your week ahead readings are on my YouTube already for each zodiac sign. We've got moving into calmer waters or leaving things behind that no longer serve. This is great. This is the 8 of Cups. Your vibe, the message is turn away from what doesn't serve you anymore. Things that might have excited you once before, things that might have really got your juices flowing in the past. changing. We're changing. It goes right back to what I said at the beginning about reevaluating what you want to do for the next 6 months. And lots of you be like just turning away on, oh, I thought I wanted that, don't want it anymore. Thought I wanted this, not interested anymore. And this card, the Eight of Cups, we're walking away from material things. We're walking away from things that we just don't desire. Just doesn't tick our boxes. We're going in search of past is new. The grass is greener. It's also a beautiful spiritual card of going in search for ourselves, going in search of what feels right for ourselves there. So Saturn in Pisces is like, we're no longer restricted. We're walking away from control, limitations, from boundaries. We've got the freedom to follow our passions, follow our heart, and live in joy and harmony. So that is a beautiful card this week to let you know that even though it might be a little bit choppy, it's going to lead you somewhere that your soul is going to be happier if you follow your soul and not follow your ego there. And this serious energy is literally just going to shine so much more for your soul to grow and feel excited. So try a meditation. If I get time, and it's a big if, I'd love to do a serious meditation. If I do, I will pop it in my Facebook group, Kate May Modern Day Mystic. So do join that if you've not already. I do have my tarot groups live this week. So if you've done any of my courses already or want to do a course, you could sign up for the course and then you could join my monthly Q&A little group where we have a practice. So that's this week as well. I have had a few people ask me already about my next psychic development group. I think we've got about 2 or 3 weeks left of this one, then we're going to have a summer break. So the next psychic development one starts at the end of September. It will be August. It will be in my newsletter, or you can drop me a message on my email, katemysticmay@gmail.com, if you want more information with that, or if you want to book a reading or take advantage of a Feng Shui analysis, whether it's just a map my home area for £99 or whether it's the full shebang, or even a Feng Shui reading at £55. Whatever you fancy, just give us a tinkle.